Hey, it's Coach Steve here, and today I'm going to kind of give you a little bit different perspective. I'm not just going to talk to you about health and wellness. I'm going to show you actually how to use Nature's Pure Blend nitric oxide flow product for heart health, for energy, for better sleep, and even to help, how do you want to say it? Support the erectile dysfunction, guys, that happens as we get older. I want to talk to you about how I can help you with all of those potential objectives, but not specifically from a health and wellness standpoint. I know I'm a health and wellness coach, been doing that for 35 years, but my first career in life after being an entrepreneur is I actually worked for corporate America. I worked in the finance and economic arena, so I'm a numbers guy. So I'm going to show you an interesting concept today on how I can help you save maybe $1,000 or more per year by being a customer of Nature's Pure Blend. That's pretty interesting, huh? I don't think you've ever heard anybody in the health and wellness industry that's going to show you how to use their products to save money. Well, I'm going to show you how to do it, and I'm also going to help you potentially save your life. If you haven't done lately, you might jump into ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever AI that you want to do and do a little research. Google's kind of outdated now, but basically ask it how many incidents just in the last 12 to 24 months that it can find on the number of individuals that have shown up in a emergency room of a hospital because of the energy drinks like Bang, like Monster, like Red Bull, and they're actually not just having heart attacks, they're having other kinds of problems that are permanent damage. I want you to understand this. Anytime you have a heart attack or any other type of heart related type of trauma, your heart never gets back to 100%. So it's very important with what I'm going to tell you here. The amount of caffeine and caffeine type related spikes that a lot of people use in their energy drinks, they're using those to do what? I understand. You're tired, you've got to focus, you've still got hours ahead of you in the day, and you've got to have something to give you that pick me up so that you can focus, you can stay on mission, and you can get your work done so you don't get fired. So I understand the reason why people stop by the convenience store, or if you're a smart person, you don't pay convenience store prices. You go by Sam's and you buy yourself a case, okay? And you keep that at your house. You take one in your car, maybe ladies take one in the purse, and you keep it around with you all the time as your spare energy resource. Here's what you're doing though. You're really setting yourself up for failure, not just because the caffeine and other types of caffeine type energy substances that can harm your heart permanently. But the other thing that you are doing, probably unaware, is that products like the large, I think it's a 40 ounce of the Monster drink, has 53 grams of sugar in there. So if you have not been paying attention to the health industry, the wellness industry, and you don't understand how absolutely detrimental sugar is by itself, then you need to jump on YouTube and just type in Dr. Lustig, Lustig, and sugar. That's all you got to do. Watch that 1 hour video that you'll get. Dr. Lustig is an endocrinologist, a pediatric endocrinologist. If anybody is articulate about how bad sugar is and what it does to wreck our body, wreck our health, cause us to become obese and morbidly obese and insulin insensitive so that we become diabetics. And then all of those things work together. You end up causing other problems like cancer. Cancer feeds off of sugar type products. So you're actually giving your body the perfect environment for cancer to actually not just start, but to spread in a quicker fashion. So the most important thing you can do when we're talking about this today is understand everything that you can possibly do to take your sugar intake to zero. You've got to start it today. That's number one. Number two, not just the sugar type products, but having too much of the caffeine products basically is constantly overloading your adrenal glands, causing cortisol to run rampant in your body. Cortisol is the adrenal hormone that comes out of our adrenal glands. And when you're constantly throwing caffeine into your body and telling it to go, 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 you're not letting your body actually rest and relax, okay? That constant level of constant chronic stress causes cortisol, which is actually a helpful hormone. If it's there for you to, fight or flee, that's when it pumps it out. If you're walking down a dark alley at 2 o'clock in the morning and all of a sudden you see somebody pop out from behind, a dark corner, and you realize that to be safe, you've either got to run fast or you're going to have to fight hard. That's when adrenaline pops in. That's when it's good, and that's when it helps us from a primal standpoint to be able to fight or flee. But when every single day you're drinking constant over amounts of caffeine, this is separate than the sugar issue, then what's happening is you're getting so much of this pumping that the adrenaline gland up all the time, and your body, your cardiovascular system is literally being wrecked by the cortisol. And what does cortisol as a hormone do? It is an inflammatory hormone. Left in the body on a chronic, regular basis, it's a wrecking ball. Not only does it help destroy organs, but it causes your whole cardiovascular system to constrict and to become inflexible. Okay, so if you already have an internal problem called plaquing, called cholesterol, that's inside of your arteries, then you talk about having vasoconstriction from incredible stress that's every single day. You're just constricting, and then you end up with a heart attack. Of course you do. So you already understand the value. That's why you're listening to this video. That's why you're a family member of Nature's Pure Blend, because having that vasodilation of getting something like nitric oxide flow, which is one of my favorite products, and its big brother, the liquid nitric oxide. These are the two products that I take. Actually, I started off with this 14 months ago and then joined the company because it did such an amazing turnaround on my life. And then this is the big brother that I think is the powerhouse, kind of the unknown hero of all of our products out there. Together, this makes up about 70% of our 500,000 family members. They purchase these on a regular basis. So they are phenomenal products. But now let's get back to what I was talking about. I want to talk to you specifically about what you can do to use this particular product right here to save you over $1,000 a year. So we have to start off with, what would $1,000 a year do for your budget? Depends on your income level. $1,000 for someone making a whole lot of money, might be some great vacation, maybe an extra bonus, maybe some great dinners out with the spouse or the family or whatever. If you don't have a super high income and you're more like most of us that are just average Americans making a good income, having a good income, but not having a super extra amount, $1,000 a year can be pretty significant. So when doing this, using that $1,000 a year, now that you understand what would I do if I had $1,000 a year, you need to write that down first, okay? Because you should never start off on any structure or program unless you first set your goal. And if your goal is to start off to get better wellness, and you're like, okay, Coach Steve is going to help me not only get better wellness, but he's also going to use his background in finance and economics to show me how I can pocket at least 1,000 or more while I'm getting healthier. What a whatever, two birds with one stone, or a double bang for the buck. Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to give you here. So let's just start off here, and we're going to look at some numbers and kind of see where this goes. Okay, so this is our goal right now, is to help you save $1,000 per year or more. That's why I put the plus symbol here, because I think you're going to see that I'm going to make a good case for you're going to save even more than that. So let's start off with Starbucks. Okay. Now, I'm not a Frappuccino fan, way too sweet. I don't like the cream. If I'm going to drink coffee, the last place I go is Starbucks. But obviously, everybody else loves to go to Starbucks or they wouldn't be in business. So if you like their terrible tasting coffee, and maybe the reason why you like a Frappuccino is you have to put so much cream and dump so much sugar in there, you're paying $5.50 each. That's the average cost across the United States. Some places could be a little bit less, some places could be a little more. You understand what I'm saying. This is the average price here, okay? So if you are drinking one of these a day, not only are you getting 53 grams of sugar, okay, 53 grams or more of sugar in every Frappuccino, but let's look at what you're spending, okay? If you're doing this 5 days a week, okay, and a lot of people do that, it's kind of a morning regimen or an afternoon regimen. Maybe it's at lunchtime or where you feel your energy after lunch around 2 o'clock starting to drop. A lot of people, run over to Starbucks because they're everywhere, okay? And if you do that 5 days a week, you're spending 27, almost $28 per week. Now, what does that equal per month? $110 per month. What does that equal a year? Just simple mathematics. So 110 times 12 is going to take you up there around $1,430. Okay. So this is what you're spending right now. A lot of people don't keep a budget, so they have no idea that the reason why Starbucks makes so much money is they're clipping the average person that is looking for that extra boost from sugar, because you do get it. You get a boost, but then you also get the crash. So you're adding caffeine, probably more than you know. You're adding sugar, which we already talked about, that's no good. And then you're also adding sweetened cream, okay, which you do not need, milk products, especially products that are fortified. Heavy cream, adding in the sugar, adding in the caffeine part. And what you're doing here is you're spending yourself $1,430 a year for you to be obese. Okay, that's what this particular product does for you, is it creates obesity and morbid obesity. Okay, so that's what, if you're a Starbucks lover. Now, if you're an energy drink lover, you're going to be spending something less, not $5.50, but you're going to be spending $2.50 each, and that's the cost of, a Red Bull, maybe a smaller can of Bang. What's the other one? Monster, and there's another one out there too. Escaped me for a second. Come back here. The point of the matter is they all have a similar goal that you're doing with this, is you're having to focus and you need energy. Maybe you're a mom and you know that even after you spend 8, 9 hours a day at work, then you got to get off work, go through the commute, pick up the kids, take them to the soccer field, go through soccer practice, come back home, cook dinner, help the kids with the homework, help them get their bath, help them get in bed by whatever good time that is. That's a 15, 18-hour day that's absolutely exhausting. So I totally understand the reason why you're reaching for these. And the manufacturers of Starbucks and the manufacturers of these products, including Coca-Cola, don't care about your health or wellness. What they care about is the shareholders and their stock price, and they will sacrifice your health and help you to become morbidly obese, which is a comorbidity that, combined with other types of disease, basically means that you're not going to have the ability and the resilience in your body because you're not well to begin with. This is where all the health problems are happening in the United States. The reason why RFK Jr. is coming in to do such a house cleaning, if you will, is to get rid of the individuals that have been paying off Health and Human Services to basically sell this kind of garbage to us as citizens and to your children. And if you notice, the fastest growing group of morbidly obese, the population segment, is children, not even preteens, children walking around that are so overweight that they can't even play. Okay. Now, are they already drinking Frappuccinos? Maybe not. Okay. Are they already drinking energy drinks? I see a lot of parents handing the energy drink to the kid, throwing them out the door and telling them to go have fun. Okay. You are setting up those kids for huge failures because of the sugar that you are addicting their body. They are going to be, what would you call it, insulin insensitive, which means that they're going to be diabetic. Diabetes is an inflammation in the body. It a lot of times leads to cardiovascular issues, and it certainly causes other types of issues that would set you up for not being able to resist something like cancer because you already have diabetes, so your body is already compromised. So let's look at the numbers here, okay? $2.50, 5 days a week, that's $12.50 a week, $50 a month, $600 a year. Now, does everybody perfectly fall into these two categories? Of course not. There are people that don't do 5 days a week. Maybe they do 3 days a week here, and maybe they do 2 or 3 days that they do catching an energy drink. But you end up with some combination of the above. So 1430, another 600 here. I doubt you are the person that's spending $2,000 a year on just sugar, caffeine, and these kinds of artificial things that are in these energy drinks. So I doubt you're that extreme. But let's look at what the cost would be if you take the Nitric Oxide Flow, and these are $40 per month. These are 2 capsules, so you're taking basically 12 of these. So this would be $500 a year. So we have to take the cost of this. So let's say, if you're these combined, let's come up with about, let's come up with a number that says $1,500 a year is what you're spending. Okay, let's put that there, right? $1,500 a year. Maybe I should erase that. Write it correctly, right? $1,500 per year is what you're spending, minus, we said it was $40 for each one of these, okay? So you're taking this to get the energy, the stamina, the focus, but you don't have any sugar, you don't have any stimulants like caffeine, and you don't have anything else that is synthetic like some of the energy drinks. When you read the back of them, the word is like this long and it has too many consonants and not enough vowels. Anytime you see something like that, be scared because you don't know what someone is putting in you that's synthetic. All that's in here is the 2 amino acids, L-citrulline and L-arginine, and this is total together is about 1.5 grams in combination of the citrulline and arginine together. So if your body says that that works for it, you can get the focus, you can get the energy, you can get the stamina without spending this. And if you are not even getting any discount, you're paying full retail price for this. So that's $480 a year. So minus $480 per year is going to give you how much? Yeah, you hit it. $1,000 per year of savings. So this product right here can not only help you from a non-stimulant basis. Not only can it help your heart maintain heart healthiness from a support standpoint, not only, guys, can it help you from an erectile dysfunction standpoint, it also gives you mental clarity, helping you clear that brain fog because, well, the reason why you have the brain fog is you're not getting enough oxygen and nutrients to your brain, just like, guys, you may not be getting enough blood, oxygen, and nutrients to your favorite member, okay? All those things combined. And by the way, this is not just for guys. I'm just giving this as an example because guys have an erectile dysfunction issue many times as they get older. Ladies, obviously you don't. But the bottom line is our cardiovascular systems are the same regardless of our gender. And the way that you can save money is by using this to be able to get you that focus, to get you the increased energy. And the side effect is you get to manage your blood pressure, cardiovascular system, and you keep it healthy. You keep your arterial pathways, your cardiovascular system. You keep the smooth muscles relaxed. You work against the cortisol that sugar and the other type of caffeine drinks cause you to increase your cortisol. This helps you decrease the cortisol. We already talked about that. So I hope this explains the way my mind works, but you could actually save over $1,000 per year by using Nature's Pure Blend and get incredible levels of wellness at the same time save yourself a bunch of money. So what I'd love for you to do, if you're watching this video, leave a comment. Tell me what you plan on doing with that extra $1,000 a year that you're going to save or more. And then I want you to send me an email. You can send it to me at support@naturespureblend.com. Send it to me and let me know as you're going along how much you're putting in your savings account every single month. And I want to know how you feel about the better choices you're making because your body's going to feel better. You're not overloading it with sugar. You're not putting that heavy cream. You're not putting other synthetic products that are in Red Bull and Bang and what was the other one? Monster, and there's one more. I'm not coming up with it. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. This is better for you. So again, Coach Steve here, just helping you unleash your best self and do it daily with natural supplements. Take care.